Love the music. Hey, you tell me when, Alana. Alana, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
How do I get to just video?
Just start talking and I will stop sharing the
Oh,
screen.
I was waiting for you to do that. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining. Happy solstice and happy conjunction. I'm very grateful for the people that have joined. We were just talking about all the competition these two stars have provided everyone today to join in with us. And I have a very special guest today, a good friend and Medicine Box collaborator, Dr. Karina Klimtchuk from Kai Wellness.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us, Karina.
Thank
And
you.
really, this is what we're going to do today is really talk about solstice and this conjunction and really what it means from the planetary aspect and how we can take some of this energy and apply it to our everyday lives with some practical lifestyle solutions and stay at home tips as we segue into 2021 and leave the past in the past, leave 2020 in the past, and really focus on the rebuilding of and reprioritizing of what is really important to us as human beings as we're entering into this great awakening, that the age of Aquarius, and really just this blank canvas that's ahead of us, and taking our own health and wellness into our own hands and being comfortable in our own skin. And I'm Brian, the founder of Medicine Box, and our overall vision is to create sovereignty and human health and happiness while harmonizing our relationship with Mother Earth. And just a epiphany that I had a few weeks ago. I was in deep meditation and realized, a big aha moment that I don't have to do this alone. I don't have to carry that mission on my shoulders. And the best part about it is we can do this all together, and we can collaborate with others that really have that same mission or that alignment with themselves and the values that they build into their personal and professional lives. So that's why it's very important, I think, as we become more sovereign in health and happiness, to realize that there's a larger community out there and a larger gestalt of that community that is all striving for that same mission, and that we can do this together. Rising tides lift all boats. And that's why today is a very special conversation with Dr. Karina. I've had the pleasure to be acquainted with her and then be friends with her, and professional collaborators, and she's gonna lead us into a lot of conversation and even some mindfulness tips. So it's a little bit about what we got going on today, everyone. And again, very grateful that you're all joining us. And just want to acknowledge and validate the pandemic. We've all been in this together. We've all navigated the chaos, the lost opportunities, the economic insecurities, the adaptation to the stay at home, wearing masks, anti-maskers, conspiracy theorists, all of it, and I think really the underlying message that we've been focusing on at Medicine Box is what really is this message of the pandemic? What is it telling us? And for me personally, it's to, work with nature, not against it, acknowledge that this is happening. It's not discriminating against any of us. And it has given us a lot of time, right? And a lot of time to be alone, reprioritize, sort out our thoughts, sort out our heart space, and looking at that from a different perspective, that's quite a gift. It's quite a gift to be able to slow down and reprioritize the 24 hours in a day. And I wanted to throw that kind of back at you, Karina, and what are some of these gifts, and how have you acknowledged and validated the pandemic in your personal life, and then also with your patients and clients that you work with?
Thanks, Brian. So I'm inspired by so much of what you're saying. In recognition that there is this whole community, this global community of people, all the folks that we have here with us this morning, and you mentioned earlier competition. Well, there's so much kind of conscious awareness around this solstice and this conjunction, and I just wanted to honor that there is this global kind of community of folks connecting in, I don't know, I view it as a way of coming into a place of sovereignty. What that means to me, I just want to define that briefly. What that means to me is the realization that there's choice. And choice is kind of limited by awareness, by conscious awareness. So when there is consciousness around some of these matters, when there is the realization that we get to choose where our attention goes, for example, we get to choose where we invest our energy. So that's one of the ways that this has been showing up for me, and one of the things that has sort of been a really, really recurring theme with working with my clients and patients this year. I've had the privilege to walk quite a few people through these times and walk with them, and sort of manage their health, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, and support them in their journeys. And that's one of the probably most exciting things that has happened, is this huge shift that's also happening on a global level in terms of awareness of natural health and healing modalities and opportunities. There was a big disillusionment at the beginning of the year, and I think it's still happening in regards to the limitations of the medical system and big pharma and all of these agendas that have come through. And what I've noticed is people really taking matters of their health, their mental, emotional, and physical health into their own hands. One of the things I've been talking a lot about lately, and folks who have received my most recent newsletter heard me talk about how we become, or rather we create the conditions within ourselves for disease or for healing to occur. As an example, last night, and I want to pick on Dr. Mercola for a moment, just because that's whose email I read. And I got I got triggered, and I respect him as a physician, and a lot of his message has to do with, constriction and fear, and they're out to get us and this and that. And here's what you can do. And I was really aware of, my position in that moment to choose to focus on the fear portion or on the solution portion. And, I noticed my body start to kind of constrict, and I, started getting short of breath and just a little bit tight and uncomfortable when I was reading some of the cautions and warnings, and this technocracy, autocracy, da 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 da, all this stuff that we've been hearing a lot about this year. And on the other side of that, there was a realization that I get to live in nature. I get to grow my own food. So many people are, in fact, doing that and choosing that. And there have been more greenhouse sales and more seed sales around the world this year than I think ever before. I was looking at these statistics earlier. And so this is to that point that when we bring in, first of all, the awareness of sovereignty and places in our lives where we can experience that or choose that. And along with that, implement certain strategies and skills and tools and practices like meditation, like Qigong and yoga practice, like something simple such as taking a walk, a barefooted walk on the earth, and discharging all that electrical energy that's swirling around in our head like a grounding wire right into the ground. And to your point about being in harmony with nature, all of these different ways that we can honor the cycles of nature, such as gathering here like this on a solstice and doing ritual around it, doing some kind of a, earth honoring ceremony, because honestly, we're here for a short amount of time. Kansas, Dust in the Wind. I don't know how many people are familiar with that song. That comes to mind. And there's a certain way of being here that honors who we are. And one of the other really, really rich sort of treasure troves on this topic is the whole collection of knowledge and wisdom and philosophy of Chinese medicine. And one of the practices that I mentioned, Qigong, comes to mind in terms of cultivating a connection with this planet and a connection with the celestial bodies and being here on purpose. So according to Chinese medicine and Qigong theory, human is between heaven and earth. And because human is between heaven and earth, it is our unique, and we're either blessed or cursed, however you want to look at it, with these big brains and all this capacity for consciousness and mindful presence on this planet. We have the opportunity to use that awareness to become a force of integration for those celestial energies, for those celestial bodies. We are able to come between heaven and earth in a purposeful way and connect the yin and yang to be sort of the vessel that brings them together, integrates them, and in that way plays a much greater role in the cosmic world and in terms of our soul evolution. So little understandings and little awarenesses and little practices like that can actually be profoundly worldview shifting and mind and life shifting and transforming for folks. Those are some of the ways that I've been working strongly with people this year and in my own life. And one thing that comes to mind, of course, is one of your products, and equanimity is just such a beautiful word to describe kind of the feeling and the presence that is cultivated when tuning in that mindfully and with that kind of presence and purpose. And that's one of your awesome products. So I maybe over to you, and you can share a little bit about that.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. Like, one thing that I think is very potent that you're talking about, and even for everyone that's, might not be into astrology, right? Might not, believe in, our signs and, I'm a Capricorn, and being a Virgo or Sagittarius, whatever it might be, but how important it is that the universe really is made of, matter and energy, and that matter and energy affect the way we live our lives as humans. And, part of this conversation is to really come at it from a practical standpoint, which you're really explaining, and I think that's really important because, astrology could, some people don't believe in it, others do. Some people take it on as a religion, and I like the way that it's being presented in more of a mindfulness way. And one thing that I always say is without, you can't have external peace without internal peace, and internal peace or equanimity, remaining cool, calm, and collected in the present moment when a person, place, or thing is triggering you. And that's so poignant for, the time that we're in. There's a lot of triggering, with the president and the election and the pandemic and all the things we talked about, at the beginning of the conversation, can be extremely triggering. And it's really important to be able to find that place of equanimity when that's happening. It's easier said than done, though. And the mindfulness practices that we're going to talk about, and Qigong, I am a mindfulness, meditator, and I do a Qigong flow every morning. And I think really the big takeaway, if there's one single takeaway from this conversation, is to pay attention. And these tips can help us pay attention in the present moment, so we're able to seize opportunities of alignment, able to seize opportunities of, it might be that new job, that new relationship, or that thing, right? That thing you've been putting off for so long because it's just a pesky distraction. But when we have the choice to be able to implement these tools in our life, to be able to pay attention just a little bit more, things really start to shift in us as we, move through life. And we hope to be able to move through life graciously. And that's, another word for equanimity. So thanks for bringing that up. So now, great introduction, everyone. We're going to save some, Q&A for later. So if anyone has any questions that come up during conversation, just drop it in the chat bar and I'll get to those. And now I'm going to hand it right back over to Karina, and she's going to, take this moment to offer us a nice exercise that we can do collectively here.
So we're picking this time because this is actually the time of the exact planetary conjunction. Right now it's 10:21 Pacific. So I invite everyone to come into a place of comfort, take your seat, and allow yourself to fully arrive in this moment, whatever that looks like for you. If there have been some distractions around you, if you're sitting in an awkward position, go ahead and maybe straighten out a little bit. Let your feet be on the floor. Feel the ground underneath your feet. Direct your awareness into your body and feel the seat underneath your butt. And just dropping in and honoring this moment. This much awaited great conjunction between two very powerful living bodies. Planets are living bodies, just like planet Earth. Jupiter, Saturn, they have their own frequency, they have their own sound that they make in space. They have their own energy, and astrologically speaking, they have their own mythology, their own story, their teachings, the archetypes that they represent. Massive Jupiter, karmic Saturn, shift conjunction. And just allowing yourself to be present with your breath. Whether you have reason for it or not, allow yourself to feel gratitude. If anything, thankful that you get to be here for this moment. On a soul level, you chose this on purpose. We all did. Grateful to be here to take these breaths. And just noticing how the breath is moving through you today. And maybe there's room to let your shoulders relax down from the ears. Maybe there's the option to let your arms get a little heavier, let your eyelids get a little heavier. Taking your seat in your sovereign queen or king self at this moment, knowing that you belong here. You are meant to be here. Honoring and acknowledging your choice to be here. You chose to plug into this talk today, to be here for this moment. And just notice how that feels in your body to acknowledge that you made a choice. You stuck with it, and here you are, taking these breaths, allowing more and more of you to be fully present. Maybe you can angle the tip of your tongue toward the roof of your mouth. This opens the front meridians and the back meridians of the body and allows them to circulate freely in communication with each other. And maybe as you take a breath in, you can visualize or feel the breath moving up the spine, up to the crown of the head, where it makes connection with the 100 meetings, the point Governor Vessel 20 by Hui. And as you exhale, let the breath move down the front of the body, moving into what's called the lower dantian, the area just below the belly button, the seed of our power. The seed of our essence. There we have the reproductive organs, the first and second chakras that resource us. Allow that energy cycle, that breath cycle to repeat itself with every breath. Inhaling up the spine, making contact with the heavens from the crown of the head, and exhaling down the front of the body, making contact with Mother Earth through the perineum, through the tailbone, and allowing this microcosmic orbit, as it's known, to circulate vital essence through your body. And along the way, it connects and picks up vital essence from the earth and from the sky, makes it part of you. Knowing that you have this breath moving through you. You have these energies within you, regardless of circumstances. Regardless of circumstance, you have inner peace. Regardless of circumstance, you have equanimity. And you can mindfully access it by doing something like this. Allowing more and more of your body to relax. Maybe there's something that's bubbling up. Maybe there's some tension. And as you stay focused on the breath and on the circulation of this chi energy in your body, maybe that something dissipates or dissolves or transmutes. Because when we create this kind of space, what no longer serves us bubbles to the surface to be released. And just acknowledge if there's anything coming up for you in this moment. Feeling all your feelings. And allowing these celestial bodies, this major force within and around you, to be a healing effect, to be a positive presence in your life. "2020 was a year of grand awakening and big, I want to term it exfoliation. So much was exposed and sloughed off that just doesn't serve. We've been shown it doesn't serve. So allow this moment to be just another one of those turning points. We can lovingly let go of what no longer serves, so that it may become the compost for the seeds of your intentions and your highest good to turn into blossoms that you can cultivate and nurture and align with these other powerful energies to help nourish. There's a short poem I'd like to read to you. I will not die an unlived life. I will not live in fear of falling or catching fire. I choose to inhabit my days, to allow my living to open me, to make me less afraid, more accessible, to loosen my heart until it becomes a wing, a torch, a promise. I choose to risk my significance, to live so that which came to me as a seed goes to the next as blossom, and that which came to me as blossom goes on as fruit. This is a beautiful poem by Donna Markova. So as we wrap up this exercise, bring into your heart's awareness the recognition that you came here to shine. You came here to give your gifts in this world. We all did. And the more we can see that in each other and help to draw it out of each other, the awareness that we are here as sovereign beings, willfully and by choice, to give our light. The greater this light grid will be. With plenty of space to feel all the difficult feelings, the fear, the anger, betrayal. We don't throw those away. We feel them fully. Grateful that we can feel so fully. And I invite you to just bring your hands together and gently rub them. Bringing all that energy right back. Close up Qigong practice by just kind of washing that Qi that's generated between the palms, kind of over the face, over the head. Breathing it back in. And maybe just rolling the shoulders back a little bit. Rolling them forward. Taking those deeper breaths, rolling the neck. Slowly coming back to body awareness. Feeling the ground underneath the feet. And coming back into the space, into the room.
That was very nice.
That was lovely. Lovely to share that with you guys.
Thank you, Dr. Karina. I got my amazing production quality here. I had the Instagram live going. So anyone that's joined, again, super grateful. This time is reserved for some Q&A, but you know, if you're all blissed out in the present moment and connected to those celestial beings and your own sovereignty, no pressure. You know, what I was thinking of is it's always nice to have a group conversation is what are everyone's, you know, own definition of sovereignty? Like, what does sovereignty mean to each one of you? Again, no pressure.
Great question.
But if someone wants to, you know, just throw it in the chat bar and I'll read it off and we can, you know, maybe, you know, send this out with some really cool perspectives on sovereignty and, you know, do it collectively and go about our day feeling really good. You know, that meditation was really powerful and practical, and you can see it's super approachable. You know, it's things you can do at home and access compassion and gratitude and present awareness. Anyone? Here we go. Thank you for stepping up.
Keisha. Hi, Keisha.
Would you want to go back and forth on these? Karina, do you want to read Keisha's?
Sure. And Keisha, I know you're not very shy. I don't want to call you out, but if you're open to coming on the screen and chatting about this, then I invite you to do that. But you certainly don't have to. Keisha says, for me, sovereignty means my choosing my resonance at all times. Hi. Can you say a little bit more about that? There's so much wisdom in that.
Yeah, I've been really playing with a lot of shadow work and shadow contracts this year, particularly with how I resonate with people, places, institutions, systems. And in choosing my own resonance, what I want, how I want to resonate, I've actually been changing the algorithm of my entire world, whether it's on social media or my clients or how I relate to family, how I relate to banks, governments, Black Lives Matter, all of it. So I've been intentionally choosing and even triggering fault lines where in the past I would have gotten incredibly triggered, and I'm intentionally diving deeper into those things that I know are triggers or fault lines for me and choosing a brand new response.
Wow. So you're talking about kind of reprogramming and rewiring. I love how you said changing the algorithm of your whole world. That is some big, powerful work to show up for.
Absolutely. It feels delightful. Meditation was absolutely lovely.
Thank you so much for joining for that.
Yeah.
Well, and that's just so true that we do get to kind of be the architects of our own algorithms. And we can only work with the awareness that we have and the tools that we have. So the importance of cultivating more awareness and more tools, and sort of enlisting the support of community and something as grand as celestial bodies or tapping into our divine nature. That can give us even more resources, even more tools to expand in these ways. Yeah.
Thank you, Keisha. That was awesome. I love that, changing the algorithm of my own world. That's applies well to the exploring the shadows that you're working on, and I applaud you for doing that because it's not easy work. It's challenging work, and it's work. It's not supposed to be fun, and nothing changes if nothing changes. So good work. Who else? Someone else just jump in. What does sovereignty mean to you? Matthew, are you there? Gemma? Elena, is that a relation to you, Karina?
Yeah, that's my mom. Hi, Mom.
What's Mom think about sovereignty?
Oh, she's taught me a lot about sovereignty. I don't know if she's going to jump on, but I have learned a lot from this woman about being self-reliant and about making, it's kind of taking a step back, assessing, waiting, and making choices that serve my highest good. I wasn't like that as a kid.
Same. Just a conversation I was having with a friend yesterday about, shadow work and the spiritual journey and being sovereign in ourselves, and that it's not supposed to be fun all the time, but you can have fun doing it, and it requires discipline, and it requires leaving the past in the past. And that's a big mantra that I'm leading into today with, as well as going into 2021. And Keisha, you said the people, places, and institutions. That's very focused. I say people, places, and things. And those things for me, business contracts, places that I go to that aren't really, it's not really worth my time. my time's better focused in other places. And then people, and being okay with leaving those people in the past just the way they are, and being able to wish them, abundant happiness in their lives, and being able to be happy for other people, even though if you feel that they've done you wrong, chances are you probably did them wrong as well, and being okay with that. And I don't think we're able to be able to come into this place of like abundant, sovereignness without leaving the past in the past. That's just a time, and maybe we were doing the best we could at the time we were in with the tools that we had, and it's okay. And being able to forgive ourselves for, maybe getting into that contract with that, personal relationship or professional relationship, and leaving it there. And when we're able to leave the past in the past, we open up much more opportunity in that present moment. And when we're not in that, space of equanimity, it really is the past repeating itself. And, we're not, humans, I don't think are really, there's this fear of the unknown for many of us. But most of the time that is kind of masking this like fear of the past repeating itself. And if we're still holding on to the past, it's always going to continue, repeating itself in that present moment. So I'm just riffing on, Keisha's just quote and mantra of the year here, changing my algorithm of my inner world.
Magic words.
So potent, and another thing, one of my collaborators on Instagram, her name's the Girlfriend Manifesto. I don't know if anyone follows her, but she's always says like, we are the algorithm, and as long as we continue to be the algorithm, we will see the change that we want to see in the world and in our personal lives. And
Yes.
I think it's amazing to see the work that people are doing, this reprioritization of the time that has been given to us, and personally and professionally, I think it's an amazing time for light workers and people on this path into this new awakened place, with also the humility to realize that we're all in different places on that path, but I think we're all on the same train. And I think that's super important to remember, and honor ourselves and have compassion for where we're at. And I'll finish by saying that the conversation I was having yesterday with this person, was about, we've all gone through it, and I was smiling in a way because we've all been there. It's like, oh, I make, all this forward progress, and then something trips me up and I feel like I go 3 steps backwards. I'm like, yeah, but you went 6 steps forwards. So you're still always going forward, and always remember to put that into perspective, that the work that, we're all doing to be more sovereign is that it's not, going to be a straight path. There's going to be bumps in the road and holes in the ground to walk around, and detours. And, I think as long as we're, connected to that spiritual source, that creator will always bring us back onto the path that we need to be walking. So that's my 2 cents about sovereignty.
So that's a beautiful, actually, move into, we were going to assign or invite people to participate in a little wellness challenge. So, in the service of letting the past be the past and looking at the way forward, I want to invite people here to do a little stretch. So for a week, maybe journal each day, do a minimum 10-minute breath work or meditation exercise, and reflect more and more on what sovereignty means to you and how you want to bring sovereignty into your life, in your health, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, and otherwise. Does that sound like a fair challenge or invitation?
And I'm going to add to that, because what really helps with what Karina addressed is not having distractions. So when you're jumping into your own world like that, make sure you haven't jumped into everyone else's. Meaning, don't turn your phone on the first thing in the morning and jump into social media and emails and all the work related things that we have to do and all those pesky distractions before we jump into our own world. Just keep your phone off, keep the email, the desktop off, whatever your device is, and jump into your own world with what Karina addressed. And it's going to be that much more potent for y'all.
Love it. Great context.
Cool. And yeah, you can, whoever wants to participate, you can email Dr. Karina. You can tag at medicine_box. We're available. Keisha loves the invitation. She's participating. And to be mindful of everyone's time, we're going to start kind of wrapping this up. And just, to reiterate, I know you all came in here for the meditation and the conversation first and foremost, but attendees will automatically be entered for a chance to win a one-on-one consultation with Dr. Karina, and of course the full suite of OneCab products from Medicine Box, which is the equanimity product for sleep optimization, Happy Belly, which is for soothed digestive system, as well as Vital Recovery, which is a great product to take during the day that has a variety of cannabinoids and medicinal mushrooms like maitake, shiitake, reishi, and chaga mushrooms. It's very stimulating and energizing. And a reminder that Medicine Box products are 50% off through the rest of the year and maybe into 2021. We'll see what happens. But they make great stocking stuffers and gifts for anyone that's celebrating Christmas or Hanukkah. And that 10-day wellness challenge we just addressed, there's Brian and Karina's contact and Medicine Box is all over social media as well. And if this resonates with anybody, Medicine Box has a wellness muse program. Dr. Karina is one of them. And this is, you can sign up and get 15% off, 15% commissions for any product sold. But really, what a wellness muse is that's just an added bonus. It's just being part of a like-minded, heart-based community that is really upholding that mission of creating sovereignty and human health and happiness while harmonizing our relationship with Mother Earth. And we're all doing it together, if you remember the beginning of the conversation. And there are some emails there. Alana is going to get this all, recorded, and we'll, retarget y'all with this information. So don't worry about any logistics right now. And again, on behalf of myself and my team at Medicine Box, very grateful that, y'all joined, and please, spread the message of awareness today of sovereignty and share, anything you learned with loved ones and the people that really need it as well. So those are my final thoughts. And, anything else from your end, Dr. Karina?
Beautiful message, Brian. Just thank you for the opportunity to serve and to be here with you and with everybody who tuned in. Very delightful to share this potent moment with you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. And that's it for today. Everybody enjoy this beautiful solstice day and the energy, and pay attention. Pay attention to the synchronicities that might come to you today. Thanks so much.